everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing week. I hope you had a great Christmas if you celebrated, and if you didn't, well, I hope you had a great week anyway. This time of year, we do turn our attentions to the end of the year and what's coming next year. I know that there is a lot of uncertainty in the EV world right now, caused by politics, caused by global changes in trends and a whole lot of other things. I don't really want to talk about that this week, although that will be coming in a future week on this channel. But today, I want to follow on from last week's video. Last week, I asked you what you felt the most overrated EV of 2024 was. And I said it could be a bike, it could be a car, it could be a motorbike, it could be a plane. eVTOL I mentioned in last week's video. And if I look the same as last week, I'm going to come clean. I'm filming this immediately after I filmed last week's video because it's the holidays and everybody deserves some time off, including me. So this is pre-recorded. I'm sorry. I know that there have been some breaking news stories towards the end of the year. I should probably throw in an acknowledgement that there have been breaking news stories and we're not going to be able to cover all of them. So please be patient. We do our best, but for our own mental health, we also need time off every now and then. So we're taking 2 weeks off, assuming we can get all of these videos edited and queued up before the end of the week. It's currently Wednesday, so I've got 3 days to make 10 videos. Nervous laugh. Anyway, today I want to know the opposite from last week. Last week was overrated EVs. This week is underrated EVs. I want to know from you what you think some of the most cracking underrated EVs have been this year. And again, like I said in last week's video, it doesn't have to be US specific. In fact, I would much rather that you tell me about a video from outside the US because we have a global audience. And I want to know vehicles that you have driven that maybe you thought, actually, this is really good. Or maybe vehicles that friends and family have purchased because it was cheap and then they've found out that actually it's a really cracking car. I'm hearing on the grapevine that just like its predecessor, the current generation Fiat 500e, whose future is very much up in the air because of not a huge demand in Europe or North America, people who are buying those and living with them for a while are going, yeah, it's limited in several different ways, but actually it's a cracking car because of the price. In Colorado right now, if you jump through enough hoops, you can get one for basically free. You have to pay various lease fees associated with your lease, but because of incentives, because of all of the other stuff, you can effectively get a Fiat 500e for little to no money right now. And a lot of people are jumping on that and going, actually, that's a cracking deal. I can forgive this car all of its failings, and that makes it very much an underrated car because it's cracking, and I would like to own one a little bit longer. Perhaps it's a used EV that you feel we haven't discussed enough on the channel. I know sometimes people reach out and they say, you're very mean to insert name of car here, and I have one and I think it's great. Maybe it's a car that you've purchased used, and based on what we and other people had said, you were like, I don't necessarily think this is going to be a great car, but maybe it'll be a stopgap measure until the next EV that I want to buy brand new comes along. And then you've got behind the wheel and you've gone, actually, this is totally underrated. I honestly feel like the Chevrolet Bolt EV, which, as you know, is a car that I own and I am very fond of, is an underrated EV generally. I wouldn't say it's an underrated EV of 2024, so it wouldn't fit into the particular criteria that I've set out, but I do feel it's a very underrated car. Whenever you talk online about that car, people always scream and shout about the fact it's only got a 55 kilowatt maximum fast charging rate and it's terrible and blah, blah, blah. But actually, if you if you own one and live with one, and you don't need to fast charge all that often, it's actually a really cracking car. It's now got tons of third-party support. But as I said, that's not necessarily within the bounds of 2024. I have heard from friends in the UK and in Europe, though, that there are some cracking EV models coming to market that are being dismissed, whether because they're Chinese made or because they're low spec or limited range. And people are owning them and going, actually, these are cracking little cars that just get the job done, that allow me to drive to and from work and run some errands and not spend a huge amount of money on fuel. They allow me to transition to a zero emission future. And actually, I think these cars are completely underrated and people need to be screaming and shouting about them more because they're blinking brilliant. I know a lot of people feel that way about the Leaf, as I said earlier, and I am fond of the original Leaf, not so much the current generation Leaf, but maybe you're someone who picked up a 2024 Leaf this year. They are still available in some markets and you've gone, actually, this car is really underrated. I know it's only got CHAdeMO charging. I know that there are these limitations. I know there's currently a battery recall in effect, but actually this car rocks. We love it and we wouldn't give it up. Maybe you feel the same way about some of the older generation EVs, like the Kia EV, the Kia e-Niro that is still on sale in North America right now. It's starting to show its age. But I know many, many people who've got hold of one this year and say, actually, it's a cracking car. I think this is underappreciated. And I would like people to shout and scream a little bit more about how amazing this car is. So again, as with last week, remember that your opinions are likely going to be different to other people's, and that's okay. And please be civil and polite and respectful, that not everyone is going to have the same opinion as you on a vehicle. So please be kind to one another in the comments, especially at this time of year. And in finishing, I do just want to say thank you to everyone who has continued to watch the Sunday Musings this year. We don't make any money on doing Sunday Musings, and I have contemplated stopping doing these many times over the year. But every time I think about stopping them, some of you post really interesting comments and it kind of keeps me going. I know a lot of main channel viewers don't even know this channel exists or even care this channel exists. I know a lot of people don't watch these videos because they're more about me asking you questions, and that kind of goes against what the main channel is, which is to bring you news and reviews and context and all of that stuff. But if you do watch it, thank you. I have managed, I think, throughout the 52 weeks that I've done these videos this year, to film most of them during dry weather. We had a couple of weeks where we had snow, we've had a couple of weeks where we've had rain, but for the rest of the time, as with today, even though it's overcast and a bit meh, it's been nice and dry and not too cold, and it's quite nice to come outside and film these, especially when other people are at the studio as we have today and it's a little bit busy and a little bit hectic. I get to come out here, I get to record this without a script. I have a thought in my mind when I start the video, but I never know quite where it's going to go, and you're all so kind and gracious, and you let me faff around in these videos. So if you've been watching this year on Take Two, thank you so much. Don't forget to engage with us on the various social media platforms. And thank you if you have been someone who has supported us this year through Patreon. Like I say, I didn't expect that we would get to the end of this year as a channel. There were moments this year where I thought we were done. But you've helped us keep going. So here's into 2025. Happy New Year, and I will see you next week for the very first Sunday Musing of 2025. Thanks for joining me today, and if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them in our Discord chat room, on our Patreon page, or you can reach out to us using Mastodon or Blue Sky. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling by on your screen right now. They are some of more than 1,500 people who help fund this channel using Patreon and YouTube, helping us cover our bills, pay our team, and making sure that we can remain 100% independent. If you'd like to join them and see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for, from as little as $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, just under $11 a year. We've had so many headaches with our credit list in the last few months. I'm sorry, it's been down to a non-functioning program we were using to pull the list out, but today's list has been manually generated, so please do let us know if you're not on there and should be. We are, after all, only human-ish. A huge welcome to our newest supporters: Steve Abernathy, Mike Nichols, Zach Kane, Philip Atkins, Kat, Rob Thomas, Ryan S., Laura, Jay Alor, Celia Gonzalez, France G. France, Nicole Huang, oh yeah, Pedro Huget, Duran Valentine, Winfred Gerlach, John Trindle, Sarah Hendrika Biketon, Edward Kufka, Stephen Beatty, Jonathan Rees, MJY, Owen Patrick, and Gail Jackson. To join the list and get your shout out, become a paid Patreon member for your moment of fame. And remember, you can also now gift membership to someone else. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations. And we even have an old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at. The address is listed below. And if you're in need of some swag, you'll find our swag store also in the down below. We've got some fantastic content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you very soon. We make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we also think that you should look at this one. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving!